After 36 grueling weeks, it is now time to come closing in on crowning a champion. Welcome to the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split live from the virtual Phoneix Raceway, and you'll get ready to catch all the action live here on GridVision. And what a better way to close the season out with yourself, Taylor Burris, and Sheldon Atkins, along with our producer, Austin Derbyshire. Sheldon, we're here at one of the most interesting circuits as a home for the NASCAR Championship for the past couple of years. Tell us a little bit more about Phoneix Raceway.
Yeah, interesting is definitely the way to point this place. You got flat corners going into 1 and 2, long flat back straightaway. Then you go into what's really does not feel like a two-corner corner. It's a kind of a little bit more banking, but more of a kink than anything, leading you back down a dogleg with all the runoff in the world that takes you to the start-finish line, where you're going to see some of the most hellacious restarts that we see all season. And as important as it gets, those restarts, you're going to be full send. You do not want to be left sleeping. You can go from pretty much second all the way back to 10th in one corner here. So send it. Every position counts here. It's a track position track. So hard to pass, especially when you get yourself worked up in the dirty air. A lot of separation. It's going to take you multiple laps to get by somebody. And when you get to the end of this thing, you're going to be thinking about, maybe throwing a gamble on a strategy. A little two-tire fire action. 2 tires instead of 4 can really help you out with it being such a difficult place to get by people.
Absolutely. Well, with that, it's time to give you your starting lineup for tonight's action. On the front row, it is Sean Conklin from Campbell Hall, New York. Alongside him is eNASCAR Contender Series driver Kay McClenny on the pole, with Sean Conklin second. Moving on is the premier driver of Alex Murray from Concord, North Carolina, with Tommy Gosson in the Ryco machine. Moving on to row number 3, we'll find James Houghton with Austin Fitzgerald in the 6th position. Moving on to row number 4, in 7th, it is the Japanese driver of Toga Hasada with Sean Rogers in the 8th position. J.R. Borima, the Brazilian, will be lining up alongside Simon Lindmark, rounding out your top 10.
In 11th place, we got Nolan Hodgson with Luis C. Becerra in 12th. 13th is going to go to Northern Mata with Brandon Marr in 14th. 15th is going to be Miller Bonds with Jeff Shutt in 16th, followed by Jacob Schneider and Spencer Higgs. 19th place is going to go to Paul Regoli, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Roger Pierce.
21st is going to be John Ballridge with Justin Nanke in 22nd. 23rd is Jason Willett with Tanner Love in 24th. Jacob Klein alongside Steve Buchanan will be in 26th and 25th. 27th, starting in the back, Nicholas Vroman and Jose Solis Jr. And then as we continue through the field, Vincent Crow, Michelle Batson, followed by Matt Coker, Thomas Freeman, Christopher Moore, and EJ Luna, rounding out your 34-car field here tonight, as more Christopher will be starting tail end Charlie along with EJ Luna. It's going to be an exciting night of action here tonight at Phoneix, and give you your final Friday night top split picks of the night. And we're going to go have it here once again. For me, it is going to be Sean Conklin, your pole sitter. Definitely one to watch. He's in the top 3 in the championship, looking to see if he can round it out with a podium finish here tonight.
I'm going to have to go with that 9 machine. I'm going to go with Jacob Schneider, always so good. He's been really potent on these flat tracks this year. I feel like that's going to move forward tonight. Maybe he'll get a chance to win it.
And our producer trying to go head-to-head with the champion himself, as he's looking to collect a Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split Championship with his own picks with Nicholas Vroman. As the field works their way down into turns 1 and 2, they got a little bit of a long way before they get to the start zone to get yourselves ready to go racing for the final time in the NASCAR iRacing series here on Friday nights, before we get ready to set off for the winter break and return once again to the World Center of Racing in February. McClenny, Conklin lead us into the restart zone to get ourselves ready to go. Green flag is out, and we are racing here in Phoneix. Field already starting to go 2 and 3 and 4 wide, almost a little further back as they head down through the dogleg, and already trouble contact almost between a couple of drivers. Murray nearly got into the back bumper of a couple of drivers, Sean Conklin being one of them, but it is Kay McClenny, the legacy driver, leading the charge here in the opening laps as they go side by side for third.
Oh, Conklin almost got stuck up in the middle there, gets the power down though. Gonna get the move, gonna keep himself up here in second place. They are racing tooth and nail behind him. We got a wreck further back on the front straight.
Big trouble.
Nakey.
Big crash right here between the 42 machine, who is having trouble. That's the number 42 of Justin Nanke, as well as several other drivers. Vincent Crow collected in this one. More Christopher as well. Matt Coker involved with heavy damage. As we take a look at the replay, started a little further back with a 13 of Tanner Love.
Oh, man. You don't love to see it. Just gets down there, gets on that transition the wrong way, and it snaps around. It's one of the easiest mistakes to make here on the cold tires.
It certainly is. So right here, you're on board with Tanner. He goes down through the dogleg right about here, loses control of the car, and unfortunately collects several drivers to collect this major incident here in the opening laps.
Yeah, that thing was never hooked up when he went down to the transition.
He'll back it up and...
Putting the Evil Knievel fire suit to use there, though.
Oh, the good news is he's safely right there, but unfortunately, I think it's say his night may be done with as far as being competitive here tonight.
Another look at it here. You see down there at the bottom, coming out of the back end of the car really wants to get light. You couple that with a sharp turn down to that flat. The car's going to hit the rub stops. You're going to bottom out a little bit, maybe smack the diffuser. And next thing you know, you're just around. There's nothing you can do.
Tough break right there, as a couple of cars will come down on pit road to try and make some repairs, as we are under caution for the first time after 2 green flag laps are complete. Take a look at the weather. It's a nice day for racing. 74 degrees is the air temperature, 82 track temperature, winds about 2 miles an hour coming out of the northeast, now bumping up to 3. As with mostly cloudy skies here this afternoon in the virtual Phoneix Raceway, as the field will now try and get themselves doubled up and are racing once again. So right now it is a very interesting situation. We have a Reaper Speed Lab driver, a Ryco Performance driver, and a Premier Racing driver in your top 3 positions.
And what we saw right there too just shows how important it is to try and gain track position under cautions. It's a mad dash once that flag comes out. Everybody is dive bombing, setting the car as low as they possibly can to cut the diameter of the straightaway and get any little bit of a run. There's just so much desperation when the flag comes out here to try and solidify a good position, because you can go from 0 to hero really quick here, but you can also go from hero to 0 in just as much time.
So I have to ask you, though, even though you have to attack on these restarts, do you think with how being early is, could we see these drivers then tone it down a little bit, try to log some laps to get around this circuit? Because we know how quickly things can go around this track here, being at the Phoneix Raceway, only about a mile in length. And as we see these drivers get ready to take the green flag here with 5 laps completed, it's going to be now or never for them to see how well you can make it to the end.
It just comes down to how tired these guys get of being behind the pace car. Friday night, big split, big egos. I'm expecting a lot more chaos than what we're used to seeing.
A strength of field of over 4,000 iRating here as they enter into the restart zone. Current drivers who are racing in the Contender Series, future superstars in the Contender Series, and as they take the green flag, Kay McClenny leads the charge once again as they work their way down through the dogleg and race off into turn 1.
Here comes Conklin fighting down to the bottom of McClenny, though, through 1 and 2. Not able to get the momentum, though. That outside line so dominant on the initial start and restarts. We'll pull that 3 machine ahead.
Kay McClenny, of course, based out of Southern California, races. We do. Another caution is out.
Car too.
Multiple cars involved in this one here as we see the back of the screen. Simon Lindmark involved in this one, the 51. More Christopher. Vincent Crow narrowly escaping it. But a tough break here for some of these drivers. Right there.
From that top wrap right there in front of him. Paul Bergoli gets turned around by one of the Ryco cars. Can't tell which.
Vincent Crow collected up in that right at the end, as we saw right here. We'll try to get another look at it with that 12 of Paul Bergoli. Yeah, right here, they're going 3 and 4 wide. The 30 machine goes and makes contact to the outside wall, and unfortunately, they all just wash up the track together. Bergoli almost could have saved it, but just as other drivers were avoiding making contact around to avoiding making contact with Bergoli.
Man, Willott and Nanke almost got caught in another one there, too.
Absolutely. So we are under caution for the second time here tonight. Just as soon as we go back green, we'll go on board with Nanke to see how he was able to try and negotiate the situation. Ooh, he goes a little too high right there. Car gets tight. He's almost, and then just snakes his way through as more cars were spinning in front of him off of turn number 4.
Honestly speaking, Nike blowing 3 and 4 is probably the best thing that's happened to him in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Great recovery for him, and he will now move up a little bit in the standings. Currently, for Nanki, he is sitting, as I was checking timing and scoring right now, he sits 31st, but should be back on the lead lap with that situation.
Also, one guy I got to kind of throw a little bit of a shout out to right now, sitting in the 9th place, Togo Hisada. I know it's early, but we've seen some of the things that he's been able to pull off on the road courses this year in the B Open and, the A Open and NIS. And one thing I've known throughout the years of being on here, this is one of those tracks that kind of lends itself to those road course ringers. They can kind of find a little bit of speed where some of us can't on the long runs. And I feel like he might have something to play once we get a little bit later into this thing if we get a good long green flag run.
Could be something to keep an eye on here this season as we work our way through this event tonight. Trying to keep an eye to see where he is ranked in the championship. And he's a little bit ways out. He's not in the top 70 right now in the championship, so he's got a little bit of work to do to get some much-needed points. Currently, right now, is your championship. It is Garrett Maines who leads, followed by Vroman and Jacob Schneider, your top 3. Joseph, Richard Garcia, your top 5. As they enter into the restart zone, green flag is back out. Cade McClenny once again gets another powerful restart here on the start of the race as Alex Murray tries to shove it into the inside and tries to get around Sean Conklin for second.
Not going to be able to get it done, though. That outside line momentum carrying Sean Conklin around the top of Alex Murray. Conklin back up to P2 now. Single file up here at the front, but a little bit of side-by-side action with Tommy Gossett down to the inside of Hodgson coming into turn 3.
Hodgson and Gossett are trying to duke it out for position here. You see the 3 Ryco red, white, and blue machines here as they work their way down through the dogleg, heading off into turns 1 and 2. Single file for your top 3 as we watch the 80 machine of Tommy Gossett try to look to the inside of one of his teammates. That's the 47. James Houghton, Miller Bonds, all right there trying to jockey for position.
Houghton had a really good run Monday night, looking to follow it up with a good finish here in the final NIS of the year. So far, looking like he's on track to doing it. You see him ripping that outside line, building a charge down to the inside of Hodgson now through the dogleg.
Here comes, though, Sean Conklin with a big head of steam to the inside. Kay McClenny gets a good run as they work their way down towards the back straightaway, and now Conklin will concede for the moment, stays tucked up behind McClenny.
Conklin, really good center to exit, though. There in 3 and 4, gets right up to the rear bumper of that 3 machine here on the front stretch. Where's he going to go with that momentum, though, in 1 and 2? Looks like he's trying to taper it a little bit to the high line. 3 mirror driving, though, and we got a caution, I think.
Jason Willett, Austin Fitzgerald, and company involved in this one.
Hard on the wall.
Yep, that's the 14 machine right there. Austin Fitzgerald. Significant damage to his machine as he will back it down and see if he will continue or make his way down pit road. We'll take a look at the replay. On board with him as he heads down, and looks like some contact right there with another competitor, one of the Ryco machines by the looks of it.
Oh, and he tried so hard, but there was nothing he could do to save that machine there.
No, tough break. He will gather it back up, and then it looks like makes contact with the 95 of Roman as he was also 3 wide with a 17 on his outside.
If Roman happens to win this championship, it can all go to that moment there.
Absolutely. That could have that will save him for sure.
Because he just got saved by his teammate there on that outside line. If there wasn't another car up there, Roman would have absolutely gone around.
Absolutely. So he is safe for the moment. We'll see how this plays out for him in this moment. But 15 laps are complete as we are under our 3rd caution of the night.
It's kind of been the tail all week. Ran a lot of B-Fix this week, and I think I've seen maybe 2 that have gone green for more than 10 laps.
What do you think is the biggest takeaway when it comes to just trying to not bring out those cautions that drivers struggle with. Because we see off of turn 2, drivers can easily get together and cause incidents. Turn 3 and 4, we saw how it could chaos, and even on the front straightaway at the start of the race.
I mean, the main thing is something that's been dead since they dropped the 550 package on here back in 2019 is give and take. And unfortunately, that is an art that has just been lost to time the past handful of years. And it just seems like every season it gets a little bit worse and a little bit worse.
We shall see. Lights are out on the pace car. Time to double it back up. We'll give you a quick rundown of the top 10. It is Kay McClenny and Sean Conklin on the front row. Alex Murray and Nolan Hodgson in row 2. Row 3, we'll see James Houghton, Tommy Gossett, Sean Rogers, Miller Bonds in row 4, and J.R. Barima and Toga Hasada, your top 10.
So early, but Sean Rogers is up to a pretty good run so far, too.
Yes, he's having a great run here tonight as he's trying to work his way further up the running order, sitting P7. We'll see what happens here as we get set, but it is Reaper, Ryco, Premier, and EPI, your top 4 here in the running order as they make their way into the restart zone, as they work their way through into the start of turn 3 and 4. Can McClenny get another great restart on the field? Into the box, and away we go. Conklin tries his best to keep up with pace. He almost makes contact as Murray tries to watch his on further back in third. And then here comes Nolan Hodgson battling.
Oh, we got one around. Position. I don't think it's going to be caution. Froman.
It is Froman. Trouble for your championship competitor.
Oh, it is tore up bad.
It is tough break right here, but we got to go watch the battle for the race lead right now because here comes Sean Conklin down to the inside of Kay McClenny.
Walking down to the bottom, almost a little bit of contact coming out of turn 4. Both of them going to cut the dog leg. McClenny's going to try and throw a block on him, though, coming into turn number 1.
The question is, do you want to be throwing a block that early? As we see now side by side, Conklin gets right there beside him, tries to put a little air on that quarter panel of the number 3. He will concede for the moment and drop back into second. As meanwhile, we watch this Hornets nets further back. There you see the 27 machine trying to work his way around the 51. Tough battle right here we see between these competitors. That, of course, being Lindmark as well as Roger Pierce in the hunt battling for position. Pierce moves up to the 13th position.
Here we go. We see Conklin diving it down to the bottom again, getting those left sides on that painted line. Trying to minimize the amount of work that he has to put into the car. Let the track do the work for you. Good run off the corner. Here he comes into 3 and 4, right up to the back bumper. Not able to make anything happen, though, right now on the 3.
Not at the moment, and as we say that, James Houghton moves up to P3 after getting around both Houghton and Hodgson. Murray drops back to P5. He has a little bit of breathing room before he sees Sean Rogers comes and puts the pressure on him for the 5th spot. Watch them work their way side by side. Murray on the bottom. The 44 machine of Sean Rogers holds the outside lane. They're still going to go drag racing off of turn number 4, and Rogers gets the spot over Murray for the moment.
And it's just so difficult to clear that guy on the outside. Such a hard place to pass. As you see Rogers giving it everything he's got up there on that outside line to pull in front of Murray. He's going to get it done here down the back straightaway, though.
He is. He's going to get a good run and clears him down into turn 3 and 4. He's got plenty of room to work now as they work their way through. And now Murray falls into the clutches of Tommy Gossett and Miller Bonds, 7th and 8th position, right behind him.
See everybody kind of taking care of each other a little bit better this run. Single file. You see Johnny Baldridge up on the outside with Pierce to his inside.
Johnny Baldridge had a little bit of an issue off corner exit. That's now going to cause Spencer Higgs and Simon Lindmark to close into this battle here. As we see, here comes Spencer Higgs around the outside. Can't make it work for the moment. He'll tuck back in as Lindmark looks to the inside of the driver of Spencer Higgs.
You see Paul Bergoli down on the inside. We'll get the pass completed with ease there. Bergoli caught up in an earlier incident. Working his way back through the field here, though. Looking pretty strong as we get a little bit later into this thing.
Yeah, he just got around Jeff Shutt for position. Jason Willett, along with here comes Justin Nanke now, who's in the top 20. He's had a difficult night, and we can report we do have 2 drivers out of the race, Broman and Matt Coker. So those 2 nights are done for this evening, and not a great way to wrap up the championship here tonight for him.
Yeah, it's going to make it significantly more difficult if Roman's trying to clinch this title. That's a run Sunday, but, I mean, we all know Sundays kind of don't have the best SOF compared to what we see on Friday nights.
No, that certainly is the case here as we keep an eye and watch this battle here amongst these drivers. We go back up to the race lead. Sean Conklin biding his time for the moment, not pushing the envelope. He's going to stay tucked up behind Kate McClenny. They are both running similar lap times. Conklin will tick faster than McClenny as James Houghton gets around Nolan Hodgson for third. And as they work their way across the front straightaway, heading down into turn number 1, there you see the battle for third further back. But Kay McClenny holding strong as here comes Houghton around the outside of Hodgson for position.
Houghton up there on that top line. Hodgson running low. Outside line going to prevail for now. Hodgson's going to keep that thing right on the quarter panel coming into turns 3 and 4.
How about Sean Rogers right there closing in on this battle? Field now works their way down back into turns 1 and 2, and here you see the driver of James Houghton trying to run that outside lane to build some momentum along it. Here comes Sean Rogers, though, trying to see if he can work the inside lane as James Nolan Hodgson holds strong on the inside lane.
And this right here, this is classic, you know, Houghton. This is what we've seen all year out of him. You know, you get to him, you think, man, I'm fast. I can go by this guy. And he gets up there on that outside line. He hangs on him for about 10 or 12 laps. Wears your tires off. You want to hit them, but I mean, at the same time, man, it's the game. It's the box these guys are forced into now with these cars being as close as they are nowadays. And Houghton just does a great job at, you know, doing a Ryan Newman impression every time we come into these NIS races. You see him running really tight on the 12 now, coming into 3 and 4. The 12, Hodgson going to slide up into Houghton just a little bit, but it's going to give the advantage to the 12 machine coming through the dog leg.
Try and push him up the racetrack here a little bit. That way he can have some breathing room and work his way through. Alex Murray now back onto the attack to see if he can get to the inside of Sean Rogers to get back into the top 5. There you see him right behind them. Single file all the way back. The closest battle you have is this one right here for third as Houghton. Now a little bit of door banging as they come off of turn number 4 across the line. And Nolan Hodgson leads that position in third for the time being.
I'll tell you what, if I was Hodgson, I wouldn't want to be leaning on that 41 machine too much.
I have to agree with you.
Houghton can absolutely dish it back out. Way worse than most people can, so be a little cautious of that one. See, Hodgson's going to give him the door again out of 4.
He is going to do it again as they go side by side, and then you also got the battle for the race lead up ahead as Sean Conklin looks to take the race lead away from Kay McClenny. Side-by-side battle for the race lead off turn number 2, and Conklin will now have to drag race McClenny down into turn 3 and 4. They have lap traffic up ahead. McClenny on the outside, Conklin on the inside, and they're still going to drag race off turn number 4. Door banged a little bit. And it's going to be Kay McClenny who will lead that lap. Conklin now has the advantage for the moment as they go side-by-side still through turns 1 and 2. Lap traffic up ahead as they try to negotiate that. Let's see how this will play out. Who will give way and concede? Not going to work this time. Side-by-side, McClenny has a half a car length advantage over Sean Conklin as we ride on board with the lap car who's about to see this chaos happen behind him.
Yeah, flying right now in front of both of these leaders. McClenny's going to give him the bumper into 3 and 1 and 2.
Oh.
Now, we're going to need to see a replay on that one. But this will give the lead to Conklin.
That was a tough break right here. But, you know, you got the leaders coming up on you. You got to give some room here, I have to say. Jacob Klein, he should have just went and worked his way up through, not get in the way. Kay McClenny now not happy, moves him out of the way. And this will give the race lead to Sean Conklin.
I'm not saying that, Darby. That's a protest.
We'll see what happens here. But
advantage to Conklin now. McClenny trying to follow back on those tire tracks, try and get that lead back. Kind of got robbed there. I mean, it's always, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, Taylor, man, but the most frustrating thing as a leader is to just have the lead stolen from you by a lap car. Like, am I right?
Well, not only that, but that early on, like, you got to give way. I mean, you know, if your car is not that good, as he's now getting ready to be lapped by the rest of the field, you got to give way. You can't be in the racing line, especially when drivers who are faster than you are trying to get around you. And you got to just get to the highest line, or could have gone below the yellow line. And he'll concede here to some of the drivers who will go to the inside.
Smart, though, staying out of the way. That 41 machine out. Probably the best idea he can make there. You see him 3 wide now trying to take over. As you see, I believe that Sean Rogers up on the top line. Here comes Tommy Gossett charging down to the bottom, wrapping the paint through 3 and 4. Tommy's going to get loose, though. Oh, is he going to save it?
He's going to save it, but he's going to lose a couple of spots. Alex Murray gets around him, and here comes more 3 wide as they go into turn 1 and 2. That was J.R. Barima, Miller Bonds, who are going to get around him for position. Throw in Jacob Schneider, who's also in the mix.
Oh, climbs the fence up top. Right in front of Togo Sada. Sada's going to weave his way through that without getting into too much of an issue.
And he'll start falling back further and further as the rest of the leaders are working their way around. And we'll see how this all plays out. But for Cade McClenny, he's already half a second behind your race leader, Sean Conklin. So we'll keep an eye on this battle from third on back with Houghton, Hodgson, Rogers, Murray, Bonds, Barima, Schneider, and Gossett all jockeying for that final step of the podium.
Yeah, and that right there, that also shows, like I've said earlier, about how difficult it is to make passes here. You saw Conklin working on him for laps and laps. You could tell that Conklin had a faster machine than McClenny. And finally, he just gets one opportunity to get there, and now he's going to kind of run away with it for the time being with a near 7/10 of an advantage now over second place McClenny.
Yeah, and he's running almost 0.2 faster than second place Cade McClenny as we now pick up James Houghton and Nolan Hodgson's jockeying for position. He's also got Murray and Sean Rogers right there behind as they work their way down into the dog leg and now try to get down. Here comes Murray to the inside of Sean Rogers, and here comes Hodgson to the inside of Houghton.
And right here at some point, you know that 12 machine is going to throw a bumper to the back of that 41 because Houghton has mastered the art of keeping those guys behind him. As we see a bit of a stack up here further in the back of the pack. A little bit of contact, too. Tanner Love getting slammed into.
Yeah, he's absolutely doing a great job of that as he tries to work his way through. And here comes the 42. You're on board with Nanke as they try to work their way through this gaggle of cars. And then they're going to go 3 wide heading into turn 1. Could get dicey as Tanner Love tries to pick up 2 spots.
I can't tell if we're watching Phoenix or Atlanta right now. These guys are 3 wide, all jockeying position. I got the track entirely wrong twice there, guys. Good work.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm having my Weber moment.
Get ready to say, we're not in either one of those places, but here, trouble right there.
There we go. It takes the heat off me.
Well, here comes the caution out for the number 51 machine. He'll get looped around. That is the 51 of Brennan Marr. Let's take a look and see what happened to him. Started with him and Moore Christopher. And let's see. Oh, he just got loose, and unfortunately, Austin Fitzgerald will finish the job off there and spin him around. With that, we're going to step aside and take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more racing action. It's Sean Conklin leading here tonight for the Friday night top split as they come down for pit stops.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Friday Night Top Split, presented by Ryco here for the season finale of the NASCAR iRacing Series as we get set to go racing. Green flag is out. Sean Conklin leads us to the green flag as they try to work their way through. Alex Murray gives them a big push as James Houghton drops to P3. And then you have Miller Bonds, Nolan Hodgson round out your top five as they barrel down into turn one, nose to tail, side by side, and we see a couple of cars go way wide up the top of the racetrack. Hodgson gathers it back up and will battle with J.R. Barima for that fifth position.
They got a single file out here at the front. Right now you see that 4 machine of Barbarema trying to get down to the inside of Hodgson, 3 and 4. Hodgson's going to be able to use that outside line advantage to pull him forward. A little bit further back, you see Murray under fire right now.
Everyone trying to jockey for position here with the fresh tires, trying to get themselves set up for a good fight to the finish here as they work their way out of turn number 2, 2 by 2 from third on back. And here comes the driver of Miller Bonds to the inside. Gets a little bit of a tap, though, from the number 4 machine of Barima. Gathers it back up as here comes Jacob Schneider with a head of steam.
I'm just looking at the Hornets' nest behind these guys, man.
It is chaotic back there around the 20th position for these drivers as we watch on the 44 machine of Sean Rogers dealing with Simon Lindmark and Toga Hisada, who are battling further back. There you see Tommy Gossett trying to break into the top 10 with a big send by Northern Moda, who is trying to go 3 wide off turn 4.
Johnny Baldridge right now stuck in the middle of those two. See Vincent Crowe work himself into the picture here. He's going to try and set it up to that outside line. Not going to be able to get the momentum down to get to the top of the 30 machine now.
Here they come. The 30 machine will clear the Johnny Baldridge machine and Vincent Crowe. So far, so good, but Baldridge tries to peek the nose, and a big send again by Moda. Tries to get the outside lane going, but not going to work for him this time to clear the car in front of him of Tommy Gossett as we go on board with Johnny Baldridge and battling with Vincent Crowe for position. This is for 13th.
Doing a good job getting the power down, but here comes Vincent Crowe fighting right back on the outside on the quarter panel.
Good
think
fight.
Better of it, though.
He is. He's going to think better of it. Here comes now Vincent Crowe around the outside, side by side for position. Crowe trying to get a good run. Not going to work this time as he will have to concede the position as Baldridge slides up in front of the 1 machine.
Crowe trying again, though. Going to get the quarter panel coming in 1 and 2. And going to get the power down. He's going to have the hole here up against the fence. He's going to rocket past that 17 machine of Baldridge running into turn number 3, but Johnny's going to fight back hard on that inside line.
Oh, he's going to get caught up a little bit, though, by Mota on his inside, and that's going to allow the driver of Vincent Crowe to get a good run around the outside and still stay up there with him.
That dog leg swinging to the advantage of the 17 machine, keeping him in the fight as they come through the front stretch. Well, that 1 of Crowe stuck up there in that top line. Johnny's able to cut the course, but not going to work for him too well. As you see Crowe get a huge run down the straightaway into turn number 3, and he's going to have the position coming out turn number 4.
For a second, yes, now he finally clears. Now dives it to the inside to get around Mota for 12. Vincent Crowe will clear Mota for position. Now he sits in the 12th position. He's on a little bit of a good, steady pace right now. He's a little bit faster than some of the cars ahead of him, but he's got work to do. Mota gets all over his back bump.
Crow gets pushed all the way through 3 and 4. Not going to work out for the 30 machine, though, as you see him wash up a lane and a half. And now he's basically in the sucker hole up there at the top.
Yeah, Jose Salas Jr. gets a big push and moves him out of the way as they work their way through the middle of turn 1 and 2. And now Roger Pierce coming into the picture.
Pierce has kind of been lurking all race along. Not characteristic for what you're used to seeing out of him.
He's always...
If you look a little bit further back, though, I think the 3 machine must have got bopped for speeding on pit road, because he is way back here mired in traffic.
Yeah, McClenny is now sitting in 19th. He's got quite a bit of work to do for the night for that number 3 machine. There you see the Reaper Speed Lab competitor currently battling it out in the eNASCAR Contender Series. Has a little bit of work to do as he'll go up to the top of the racetrack to avoid some chaos going further on behind him as they go 3 wide once again through the tri-oval.
Another testament to how important track position is. Any other track we'd go to, you'd see that 3 machine probably up there back up towards the top 10 at this point. But you see him deep mired back in this field just in front of this Hornet's nest. It's right behind him.
Closing in now 100 laps to go for your drivers here. Sean Conklin, no pressure for him. He is 1.6 seconds ahead of the Hornet's Nest that's behind him of James Houghton and Miller Bonds. Your top 3 competitors. It's a Ryco 1, 2, 3. Then you have Nolan Hodgson from EPI in 4th. Alex Murray from Premier rounding out your top 5 as we watch this battle here between Hodgson's, Murray, and Boromia, who are trying to battle. Here comes Jacob Schneider with a head of steam down to the inside. Try to show the door, but could not get around JR for position.
Yeah, we were talking about Hodgson there. That's another one of them deals where I got to give a tip of the hat. You know, we've covered 36 weeks of this. And we've watched teams come, teams go, teams struggle, teams absolutely dominate like we've seen out of the Ryco cars. And it's basically just been catch up for the rest of these organizations to kind of try and get just a little bit of that magic in the bottle that Ken Byron's found with these cars. API is one of those teams that, halfway through the summer, it didn't look like things were too sure. They were really struggling on pace. But here in the last handful of months, handful of weeks, they've really been just on fire compared to what we've seen out of them. You see right now, badly in this top 5 position. The 12 Hodgson gets into the back. Miller Bonds there. Pretty good fight out of them.
Yeah, Miller Bonds got a little bit loose, hit the outside wall off turn 2. That allowed Hodgson, but he had to check up. That lost the momentum he needed to try to get around him for position. Another team, of course, that's been on a little bit of a tear also is the Premier drivers, Alex Murray. That team has been working hard to make their way through. Been doing well in the truck and Xfinity cars, but here in the Cup Series, they're looking to try to get some good runs this season. They've had a couple in some A Opens and some of the other nights at the NIS runs, but not yet on the Friday nights, as they've had, I believe, looking through the stats, a win in the Friday night section.
I tell you, it's really difficult when you come out here against a team that is as well put together as what Ken Byron has put together with Ryco, and with some of the highly talented drivers that he has behind the wheel of his machines. But some of these guys are really doing a good job, especially in this late stretch of the season, just really finding and stacking those pennies, as Corey LaJoy would say.
Absolutely. And as they work their way through, here they come through the field. There you see the 51 machine trying to work his way up further in the running orders. As he tries to do so, there you see Sean Conklin, your race leader. Then James Houghton, Miller Bonds, still holding on to second and third. James Houghton is now trying to pull away from Bonds and Hodgson. There you see Murray and that number 22 machine. Some new colors for him this season. As Jacob Schneider, another driver who we've seen putting on some great runs all season throughout 2024, looking to see what he can accomplish here to wrap up the season. He started 17th. He's picked up 10 spots since the start of the race.
Can we get a zoom in on that paint scheme, because that's a new one out of Jacob. You used to seeing him wrapped up in the Ryco colors. A little something different this week.
Got a little bit of an interesting paint scheme, I have to say.
The front bumper.
Gotta love it.
I'm trying to figure out. I think he says thriving.
Thriving in 2 centimeters.
2 centimeters.
Interesting paint scheme, I have to say, but he's having a good run, sitting in 7th. He got Sean Rogers right there behind him, who's trying to show the nose on that number 44 machine, the Beast Mode. Beast Mode machine. As right behind Simon Lindmark and Tommy Gossett trying to close in on this fight. Ooh, one driver had a little bit of a swerve. That was around Vincent Crowe and Jose Salas Jr. Wondering if Jose's trying to foreshadow the championship winner for this Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series finale at Phoenix this weekend.
Well, if he is, I hope he blows his tire. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize Mike was hot there.
Not Jose.
He's giving him a bump, though.
Vincent Crowe trying to put the bumper and get him out of the way a little bit as they go now nose to tail. Right behind Vincent, Roger Pierce trying to send it in. Here comes Mota and Kay McClenny trying to get into the pit.
Pierce working that bottom line now, trying to get past Vincent Crowe. Real costly maneuver. You saw Vincent Crowe trying to push that 22 machine through 3 and 4, and it really hurt his momentum coming out of the corner. Lost the nose. Opened the door up for the 27 machine, and Roger Pierce is going to make him work for it. So they make a little bit of contact coming out of turn number 2.
A little bit of door banging right there. They gather it back up. Pierce will get the spot over Vincent Crowe as they come through the middle of the turn 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4, there you see the field work their way through single file for the moment as Vincent Crowe tries to go back onto the attack there with Roger Pierce.
Yeah, but I think Vincent's really worn those tires off of that number 1 machine. We need to put a couple more ponies on board for that thing to pick up.
Riding on board here with McClenny, who's trying to get around Mota for position, move him up into the top 15 as he tries to fight there. More trouble around there as we see here Baldridge trying to get his way through and move up a couple of spots.
Yeah, Johnny will be relentless trying to get... Oh, man, McClenny with a deep dive into turn number 1. I didn't think he was going to stick the corner as hard as he sent it in there. Somehow finds it, but Baldridge on the inside. A little bit of contact coming out turn number 2. Baldridge almost lost it, but a heck of a save out of the 17 machine. That was a absolute power move on the outside around and holding off Baldridge and company. McClenny on the tear, looking to try to work his way back up through the field. He sets his sights on Mota for the 15th spot. He's going to go back up to the top side of the racetrack, that second groove, as they work through off turn number 2, and he tries to close the gap. There's about a car length between the two of them as Alex Murray, he's moved up into 3rd position. Murray going to pass the EPI machine, the 12 of Nolan Hodgson.
Take a look at the replay right here of how he did it. Gets a good run off turn number 2. Look at the run he gets. Sends it into the inside. Will send it down to the bottom. Sets his sights, clears Nolan Hodgson's for the 3rd spot. And now we'll have his sights on James Houghton for 2nd as Simon Lindmark drops a couple of spots.
He's got a way to go, though, if he's going to get to Houghton.
Got a little bit of work to do as Hodgson holds off in 4th position. There he goes, working on Tommy Gossett a little further back as one car, Jose Salas Jr., goes to the top side as Roger Pierce and the 51 machine of Simon Lindmark battle for position.
Roger Pierce will keep position here, but down to the bottom of the 30 machine to the inside of Vincent Crowe into 3 and 4. Not able to get it done, though. Vincent doing a really good job holding that top, trying to... he's just praying right now for a caution, because he needs 4 fresh Goodyears underneath that machine.
Absolutely. He's been really putting a lot of pressure on those tires, but Vincent Crowe has been really one of the few drivers who's been making that outside lane work really well for him as he tries to get the momentum, gets around Mota for position. Mota, though, sends it back to the inside in that Red Dragon machine.
Pretty neat looking paint on that 30 machine, too.
The only thing I have to say is it's a blue car with the Red Dragon logo.
You're just saying that's the Williams paint. I'm not much of a... See, I only watch the left turns, unfortunately, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, Team Williams does have an eNASCAR team. As a matter of fact, Team Williams won the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series Championship earlier this year with Parker White. So, yes, they are known for going right and left, but their eSports world, they're pretty good at going left too.
Huh. Noted.
Field now working their way across, coming up to the halfway point of tonight's race. 76 laps complete. It is Sean Conklin who leads by 2.9 seconds over his teammate James Houghton. Alex Murray is your top three. We're going to step aside, take a quick commercial break. We'll have more racing action here on the GridVision.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to GridVision's coverage of the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split live from the virtual Phoneix Raceway. Just went underneath caution here once again, but had a nice long green flag run. Several drivers decided to come down pit road, and it is James Houghton who will be your new race leader. Sean Conklin, Alex Murray, Nolan Hodgson, and Jacob Schneider, your top five.
Any chance we get the pit times on here? Because I'm wondering. With Houghton up here in the front, we saw him do it Monday night. Took 2 tires, put himself in a good position.
I can confirm, yes. I believe he did. James Houghton, a 9.8 second pit stop.
That's something I like about that cat in that 41 machine, man. He is always willing to risk it for the biscuit. You never see him stay in line with what everybody else thinks you need to do. He always finds something a little bit left field, and frequently it seems to work out for him.
And of course, unfortunately for Roger Pierce, he is out of the race. We're going to take a look to see what happened to him. Right there, Roger Pierce gets collected in some serious incidents happening here.
Was that Gossett that spun there?
I believe it might have been. Yep, we're going to go back to green flag racing here, though. Houghton Conklin leads us to the green flag as we say once again also thank you to Roger Pierce for showing up all season long here on Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. And here they go. Green flag is out, and Conklin trying to get around his teammate Houghton for position. Side by side, a little further back as they head down into turns 1 and 2. Murray in the catbird seat sitting third.
Look at how well those two tires are holding up for Houghton as he tries to cross over in front of Conklin. A little bit of contact. Good job keeping that machine straight, though. I was not expecting him to make it through 1 and 2 and still hold the lead with the 54 up there on that outside, but it worked for him.
It's certainly in trouble for the 44 machine. Goes up the racetrack. Sean Rogers, hard contact to the outside wall. Still racing, but unfortunately for Sean Rogers, that's significant damage that he's got to that 44 machine.
Sean Rogers, night started out great for him. Last 10 minutes, entirely different story. As you see, here he is coming out turn number 4. Oh, he just gets turned by Tommy Gossett. Oh, that was the previous caution.
That was the previous caution. That was the previous caution, but he did hit the outside wall hard just a few moments ago as we watched the battle for the race lead between Houghton and Conklin. Around the outside goes the 41 machine of James Houghton to hold on to the race lead for the moment as Conklin goes to the inside, tries to show the nose. Side-by-side battle for the race lead between the two Ryco teammates. A little bit of contact between the two of them as they gather it back up.
It'll be a dead heat drag race down in turn number 1. Houghton up there on that outside line, going to send it a little bit deeper. Oh, Conklin gets the apron, gets a little bit loose, but still manages to get the power down.
He gets a good run off turn number 2 right there to try and maintain the race lead for the moment as he will try to fight off his teammate here in these late stages of the race. Side by side, a little further back as we watch Alex Murray in the catbird seat. He's under pressure from Nolan Hodgson.
You see right here, this move, the 41 machine Houghton, everybody in this field just collectively learned something. Get later in this thing, we get a caution, maybe 20 laps to go or something. Best believe somebody's going to come down there and throw on 2 tires, maybe a handful of guys, and really muck up the order a little bit from what we'd expect to see at the end. As you see, Houghton's still doing a great job holding off Sean Conklin.
He certainly is hitting his marks, not pressuring himself, trying to just not make a mistake. And then a little further behind, you see Miller Bonds and Kay McClenny battling for the 5th and 6th position.
Not much of a battle. Here comes McClenny looking to the inside. A little bit of contact with Rogers, going to move him right out of the way.
Yeah, Rogers trying to go down. McClenny had the nose there, and both of them making contact. That's going to allow Jacob Schneider to try to get around the outside for position. And there you see right now Schneider working that outside lane. Bonds is trying to hold strong as here comes Johnny Baldridge and company as they come off turn 2.
We are Conklin still trying to figure out what he needs to get by that 41 machine. But I think, man, you see the 41 Houghton run up top. As you see, Conklin dive onto the bottom. I think he's really struggling to keep that thing in line on those 2 tires.
Do you think, I mean, he's doing a decent job, though. And the car might be a little too tight off corner exit for him. Right there, it's just as I say that. There he goes. The car hits the outside wall. This could open the door for Sean Conklin to take the race lead, but he is still able to keep the power wound up around the outside as they almost make contact again.
I think they did a little more than almost there. Dead heat back into turn number 1, though. Houghton to the top side. Conklin riding it down there on that bottom, trying to get that power. See him using kind of a wide diamond there, trying to keep that momentum up through corner center. He's going to turn him.
Contact. Conklin moves his teammate out of the way, dropping him back multiple positions. Nolan Hodgson goes up to P2. Murray and McClenny move up 1 spot each as well as here comes Miller Bonds to close the gap on his teammate.
I want to see a replay on that one when we get a chance.
That was an interesting situation here. We'll see a look at here on the GridVision replay. Side by side, Conklin has the inside advantage right there. Sends it in, and I think Houghton just turned down a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think Houghton came down a little bit early. Conklin was setting up for that wide arc into the corner. See it from the chopper here. This will be more definitive.
So he has the advantage a little bit, but Conklin's right there on the inside, and yeah.
Conklin didn't give it to him, and Houghton thought he would, is what I think that comes down to.
Absolutely.
This is one of them racing deals, man. Two people going really hard for it, especially for the lead. You know how important being in control of this race is here in Phoenix.
Certainly is. Right now, though, James Houghton sits in 5th position. He's got his teammate Miller Bonds right behind him, as Nolan Hodgson, he is starting to close up on this battle for the race lead as Sean Conklin's trying to pull away, but he's not able to. With him battling his teammate right there, I think that might have burned up his equipment a little too much, while Nolan is right there to capitalize.
Yeah, how about Nolan, man? Being up here in this top 5 all race long, going with the potential to get up here and battle for the lead against one of the best in the series. If not, definitely the best out here tonight. Good run for that 12 machine. That is, you know, if the flag comes out right now, that's where you finish, man. That's something to hang your hat on at the end of the season.
Great way to wrap up your season. 36 weeks of action. This is the most grueling schedule in the entire iRacing series platform. Yes, some people don't run the full season. Some people run the special events only. But these select few drivers that you see racing here tonight have been racing since February for the Daytona 500 and have continued to do so all the way till tonight. And not just tonight, but there is also multiple splits throughout the week, of course, here. There is the open ones that are on Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon, Friday night, and then Saturday morning and Sunday morning. And then you have the fixed split, which is the fixed setup version of this NiS series that are run also on Thursday nights, as well as also on Sunday nights, and I believe also again on Saturday as well. So you have multiple different options to race these cars, and these guys, they do it not once, not twice, but sometimes 3 or 4 times a week.
Also, if I was Conklin, I wouldn't be breathing too easy. If you look in your mirror, right behind Nolan Hodgson, worked himself up into the 3rd position. McClenny is back into the fight now after that pit road incident earlier. Has clawed his way through traffic to get up here.
And
he's just within a second.
He is, and last time before this previous lap, he was faster than your top 2. He's a little off pace right now, but not by much as they head off into turn 1 and 2. Field works their way through side by side a little further back between James Houghton, Miller Bonds, Jacob Schneider trying to jockey for that 5th position. Then you have Simon Lindmark also in the hunt as well. So you have 2 Toyotas going up against the Ford Mustang, and Vincent Crowe trying to close in on this battle for the 5th and 6th position. Here comes Vincent Crowe with Johnny Baldridge right there behind him as they work their way through. Baldridge trying to get to the inside of Vincent Crowe. Here comes Schneider on the attack to get to the inside of James Houghton for that 6th position. Side by side, a little contact almost between the two of them. They gather it back up and will drag race to the start-finish line. Schneider worked his way to the inside. He's got the advantage briefly, but James Houghton's going to power his way around the outside of those 2 tires as Lindmark watches on. Schneider trying to dice his way around. Lindmark crosses him over side by side for position. Schneider on the outside, Lindmark on the bottom as those 2 will battle for the 8th position. New competitor into the top 10, that is Luis Becerra, who's right there in the hunt. He's trying to get around Vincent Crowe and Johnny Baldridge right there ahead of them. Those 2 will battle for position as they work their way down into turn 3 and 4. And a little bit of contact between the 2 of them. Baldridge tries to go around the outside. Here comes Brigoli and Toga Hisato coming into the picture.
If you look up closer towards the front of the pack right now, that run that Hodgson was on kind of stalled out. As you see Sean Conklin pulling away to a near second advantage over the rest of the field now. But Hodgson quickly falling under fire to McClenny there in the third position.
Absolutely, and there comes Gabe McClenny with a big head of steam. He is trying to close the gap. He's a tenth faster than Nolan Hodgson, but he is a tenth off the pace of Sean Conklin. He's got a little bit of work to do, as Alex Murray is right there in the hunt. He's also running the faster laps of those top 5. Here they
Johnny
go.
Baldridge down to the inside of Vincent Crow into 3 and 4. Johnny getting real tight, though. Vince doing what he does best, staying up in that outside line, basically blocking off the field.
Baldridge sends it in deep to the inside. He tries to get a good run off corner exit and tries to hold off the driver of Luis Becerra as they go side by side off turn number 2 and heading into 3. Becerra on the outside, Baldridge on the inside. Tries to send it in deep and tries to pick up a 2 for 1 or for special, getting around Vincent Crow.
Tell you what, this is probably the best run that I think we've seen that 17 Lockard machine have all season. Johnny up here fighting in this top 10, just consistently up here on pace. Been a pretty good night for him this evening.
Certainly it has been as they work their way out of turn number 3 and 4 and coming into a 50 laps to go here tonight. And these drivers are putting on a stellar fight here in the closing stages, as here to the inside, we see Becerra tries to clear the driver of Vincent Crow for the 10th position.
We've seen how difficult that is for some. See Becerra going to send a slide into 1. Somehow going to be able to keep the power down. Probably the best launch we've seen somebody get through 1 and 2 all night. Trying to pass somebody on that outside line. Move Becerra up now to P10.
Great drive. Under 50 laps to go here for your race leader, Sean Conklin. He sits comfortably with 1.5 seconds. We're going to step aside, take our final commercial break before the checkered flag. And when we come back, we'll bring you the conclusion of the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split live here on GridVision.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Under caution once again, you saw it there live on GridVision as multiple cars had a couple of issues there towards the end. That was Jeff Shutt who looped it around as we are closing into the end of the race. And big strategies possibly happening. And just as I say that, nope, Tanner Love is going to stay and come down onto pit road. But as well as Austin Fitzgerald, so Sean Conklin will be your race leader, followed by Alex Murray, Nolan Hodgson, Kay McClenny, and Miller Bonds, your top five. Let's take a look at the replay to see what happened to Mr. Shutt. And let's see if he got shut out of the competition here tonight. Just got loose right there and unfortunately collected another driver.
Looked like Bomarimo.
Bomarimo, indeed. Big damage to his machine. So a tough break for the Capital Auto Group Ryco Performance machine, number 24. So a tough break indeed for him tonight in his Chevrolet. And there you see Barema in his Toyota, just innocent bystander. Those drivers, tough break right there, but he will join the drivers of Tommy Gossett, Sean Rogers, Roger Pierce, Nicholas Vroman, Matt Coker, and Jose Salas Jr. also not having the best of nights as well.
Yeah, it's a rough break, especially when you get, so late into this race. Just dive it down in there into that dog leg like you've been doing all night. And just sometimes you catch it at just that magical angle that just yanks the wheel out of your hand, basically, and throws you head on into the car next to you.
And I know for those of you who are not watching the NASCAR truck race, we got to give a big shout out to one driver. So if you don't want to know who the champion is, please mute or pause or fast forward, whatever you need to do. It is a big congratulations to probably one of the most well-known iRacers at the time, Ty Majeski, winning the NASCAR Truck Series Championship. I mean, incredible feat that just happened for him, and started his career in late models and racing on iRacing. In fact, at one point, being one of the highest I-rating drivers on the service at one point.
I still believe in Ty Majeski supremacy on here myself.
Absolutely a great drive. Congratulations to him and his team for winning their first career championship. And who knows, maybe this weekend we could see another iRacer take the championship. Got William Byron, who could be possibility your 2024 NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Sorry about that.
Did you put another Starburst in your mouth and nearly choked?
Nope.
No, not this time. Okay. Well, we're about to take the green flag here once again. Under 50 laps to go. Sean Conklin will take us to the green flag, and Alex Murray caught snoozing there a little bit as it is a big breakaway as he will try to fight his way through. Hodgson and McClenny battling for third.
3 wide, almost coming into turn number 1. A little bit further back in the pack, though. It's actually happening.
And we keep it clean off turn 2. So far, so good.
Coming into turn number 3, though, here comes Hodgson down to the inside of McClenny. So close, you can barely fit a piece of paper between those two machines, so they come out to the start-finish line here. McClenny's still going to hold on to P3, though, as they come into turn number 1.
James Houghton right there in the catbird seat, ready to make a pass as Kay McClenny will inch his way forward around Nolan Hodgson for that position. Move him up to P3 as Alex Murray putting all kinds of pressure to the back bumper of Sean Conklin.
Oh, Houghton, huge shot to the back of the 12 machine coming in at turn number 3.
Here they come down across the front straightaway. It is Conklin, Murray, McClenny, Hodgson, Houghton, your top 5, as here comes Hodgson to the inside. Side by side for position in 3rd place. Cade McClenny trying to hold on as the 2 Ryco drivers of Houghton and Miller Bonds watch on.
Here comes Houghton, though, with a deep dive down into turn number 3. Not going to be able to get the power down, though. Outside line going for bail for Hodgson.
Tough break right there. We'll see how this all plays out as they go single file. Pretty much all these drivers inside the top 10. As there you see the 51 machine trying to work his way up further. That's Simon Lindmark. And here comes Paul Bergoli in this hornet's nest of Schneider and Mota.
Paul Bergoli down to the inside of the 30 machine coming into turn number 3. Going to get a little tight there on that bottom line, though. Going to kill any momentum that he had coming down to the front straightaway.
He got enough momentum, though, to break the top 10 as he gets around Mota for position, setting his sights on Luis Berza right there ahead of him, and he's looking to make a good run. He clears Mota for the 10th spot.
Yeah, that dog leg right there absolutely saved him. Gave him that extra couple feet that he needed to be able to put himself in position to get that slide job coming into turn number 1. Worked in the 12 machine's favor.
It certainly did. Here they come across the start-finish line, and Mota is now going to have to deal with Jacob Schneider for that 11th position side by side. Schneider has the inside advantage, trying to clear him off corner exit. Not going to work. Mota drag race down the back straightaway.
Schneider getting down to that inside line on the inside of Mota. Oh, a little bit of contact coming in at turn number 3. 30 machine going to keep it under him, though.
Going to keep it underneath him for the time being, side by side, and here they come, heading down into turn 1 and 2. Schneider going to push Mota up the racetrack a little bit, but Mota gets a good run off corner exit on the outside lane as Schneider powers back through on the inside.
Drag race down into turn number 3. Mota with the advantage. Schneider trying to make something work on that inside, though. You see Mota going to swing way wide through turns 3 and 4. That's going to give a huge advantage to that 9 machine on the bottom. Move Jacob Schneider to the point here.
Riding on board with Paul Bergoli as he watches these 2 battle for the 11th spot. There you see, as we watch further on, and have a battle going on, though, for 4th position between Houghton and Nolan Hodgson, as those 2 jockey for position for 4th side by side. Houghton on the bottom, Hodgson on the top. Ford versus Toyota. And here comes the Chevrolet of Johnny Baldridge right there behind.
Now, you remember when Hodgson was trying to pass Houghton for all those laps and he kept making door contact with him?
I do.
You know who else probably remembers that?
I would have to say both of them remember that.
I think Houghton's got the best memory of it right now himself.
Certainly seems to be the
As
case.
you see
He's
him,
going to put the bumper right there.
He's going to turn him.
Almost turns him around, but that will make Hodgson lose multiple spots as he drops like a rock further and further back. He's going to go outside the top 10.
And that right there is why I say every week, you don't want to muscle that 41 machine of Houghton out of the way, because he will give it back to you tenfold.
For the longest time, all season long, we've seen Houghton in the Punisher paint scheme, being one of the drivers for Ryco now, and he is going to punish the competition for those who get in his way. You ride on board with him. There's 1 nudge, 2 nudge, and sends him up the track he goes.
Yeah, he said, hey, you tried to slam me out of the way for 20 laps earlier. I remember it. My turn.
Tough break right there, but he's got still enough time to get back into the top 10 at least as we watch this battle for the race lead. Sean Conklin still has the race lead. Alex Murray and Cade McClenny, though, are putting the pressure on him as Paul Bergoli tries to go around the outside of a couple of drivers to see if he can work further into the top 10. Bergoli now moves up to P8 as he tries to get around Becerra and Johnny Baldridge to try to pick up a 2-for-1 special. Schneider right there thinks about going 3 wide off turn 2.
Johnny really struggled getting into turn number 1 there, and it held both of them up pretty bad.
Certainly did. Now they back it down a little bit, and now we see here comes Jacob Schneider to the inside. Nolan Hodgson watches on, ready to capitalize on any mistakes here. And they'll go back to single file as Hodgson goes around the outside They're really going up to that second and third lane pretty early on in this run compared to what we've seen in the previous race.
Oh, Hodgson catches the fence coming out of turn number 4.
That's going to cause him to lose some spots as Schneider goes to the inside of Bergoli, side by side for position. Bergoli on the outside, Schneider on the inside. The battle for P9 continues on.
You see Schneider working that low line of the track. Up there in that second groove now. Huge diamond for him, trying to get that power down. But you see Bergoli just using that outside line, getting to the gas a little bit further, getting the car to rotate a little better. Getting a huge launch on the back straightaway into turn number 3.
And I got to ask you right now, with these cars with some fresher tires, how would you be able to manage making that car rotate through the middle of these corners here compared to where you can just be consistently hitting those marks?
I'll tell you what, honestly, started this week out, felt incredible here. And I have fallen off a cliff with every passing day. I couldn't quite tell you, aside from just backing her up early and trying to, what you see with Conklin right now, this is the way I like to run this place. I couldn't tell you how to run that outside line and make it work. The only thing that makes sense to me here is just the Harvick line, the bottom feed, get off it early, get down there on that paint, dip those left side tires under the apron, let the thing arc up just a little bit, then dip the tires back under as you come off.
One thing I have been surprised about, though, Sheldon, is that we really haven't been running below that yellow line like we have seen in previous years. Do you think it's just due to the fact of how the car is handling? Because we know if it's a truck or Xfinity car, we see those guys go below that yellow line, no problem through turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, the grip, we constantly talk about how much iRacing hits it out of the park with everything they do. Sometimes, with these tracks where you have the option of going under the apron and making some speed, iRacing isn't necessarily one for one for that. So we see it here. We see it at Auto Club because, Auto Club, they'd be slammed all the way down against the grass in 3 and 4. You go there and you back it up into the fence real quick on here. But hopefully with the refreshes and the new tire stuff coming in the near future, we'll be able to get that to work in time for next season.
You should be seeing some big updates for the oval racing community in 2025 Season 2 build, as announced in the November development update that was released today. Some cool content coming out, though, for Season 1 2025. Of course, it is the release of the 2 Gen 3 V8 supercars, along with also a rookie car, the BMW C2 machine, and then, of course, an Acura NSX. And then the big surprise will also be a Ferrari 499 LMH car. So a hypercar for the first time will come to the iRacing service. Although it's trouble and further back, Moto around and several others, and Vincent Crowe collected.
And this right here, this is going to change everything. This is where we're going to see the chaos that we know so frequently in NiS. It's about to unfold. We got less than 20 laps to go. They're going to come down for tires, and I just know somebody's going to throw on 2 tires and really make a show out of this thing.
Absolutely. Let's ride on board and watch what happened. Vincent Crowe minding his own business. Moto was the one who was spinning off turn 2. There you see the checkup right there, and Vincent Crowe unfortunately gets collected up in it. I'd like to try to see what happened with Mota in the number 30 here with a replay. I think
he got sideways.
I think he got some help from Nanky there.
Nanky just wore him out 3-4 times. He was working on that one.
He was, and unfortunately for Vincent Crowe, had nowhere to go in this situation, and that will put him down towards the bottom of the running order.
All right,
1,
on board with Mota here.
2, 3, 4, and around you go.
Apparently, he's not as big a fan of the Williams paint as I am.
And with the race off pit road, it will be Sean Conklin who will win that race. Steve Buchanan and Justin Nanky decide to stay out momentarily. I have a feeling, though, those two will come down pit road next time by.
Yeah, there we go. Everybody took 2 tires on that up here in at least the top 9.
So we have 2 tires pretty much from 3rd to about 9th, and then no tires up at the front of the field. and then 4 tires for the majority of those further back.
Well, the thing is, Nikki caused that yellow, then he's going to stay out here and try to control it up here at the front.
Oh, that's going to be a tough ask, I have to say. Same thing with Buchanan, who's been towards the mid to back of the field here. Coming into just about 16 laps to go, possibly next time by. Should be going where it's going to be just about under 15 to go when they take the green flag.
I'll tell you what, if you're either one of these guys in the front row, you're just hoping for a chain of quick cautions directly after the flag comes out.
Absolutely. But to continue our topic right quick, a couple of other cool things in this development update is a couple of refreshes to some of the NASCAR scheduled tracks. So Las Vegas and New Hampshire will be getting a brand new artwork update and overhaul. So get the chance to see what the actual New Hampshire Motor Speedway looks like nowadays, along with the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Tell you what, I would love a complete rescan of both of those places too, though.
Absolutely.
At some point,
Absolutely.
Vegas looks like so much fun now the way it's worn in. I mean, heck, the scan that we have for Vegas was that like 2008, 2010ish.
2010ish, because the track of New Hampshire was 2009.
Yeah. No, that's 3 years removed from the initial repave of Las Vegas.
So, but we're about to take the green flag here once again. Going to be coming to just under 15 laps to go for our drivers. So we'll see how this all plays out for our competitors as they head into turn 3 and 4 into the restart zone. It is Buchanan and Nanke. Green flag is out. How well does everyone manage the tire spin? Nanke does not do a good job of it. Buchanan trying to pull away quickly, but here comes the hard chargers of those with 2 tires and 4 tires barreling down on him, and Conklin quickly tries to make short work of the action, but here comes Buchanan around the outside, side by side. Houghton watches on in third as Bergoli and company hits the outside wall off turn 2.
And look at everybody jockeying for positions further in the pack. Look like a trail of snakes going down the back straightaway. Here comes Houghton, though. He's going to move himself into the second place position up in front of Buchanan. And a huge dive for Lindmark. Where'd he come from? All the way up into the 3rd position all of a sudden.
Simon Lindmark making a big run here as he works his way through. Looking over, he was also another driver who took 2 tires on that last stop. Everyone works their way through. The first driver with 4 sets of tires is Alex Murray, who's quickly trying to work his way through.
It's going to be a difficult ask, though. That's a lot of cars to get through in such a short time.
Whoa, contact! Kate McClenny and Morin. Can we keep it clean and green so far? Yes, it is. Everyone gets it straight and narrow, and we will keep on racing.
I think Pierce got caught in that too, didn't he?
I think a bunch of drivers got caught in that one as they work their way through. Here they come. We'll watch another look at the replay. Nanke there on the outside, McClenny, Alex Murray and company, and right there Schneider gets together with them, and they just gather it up and continue on, and almost Ross Chastains it with a Hail Melon move hit Phoneix.
It's huge contact, huge blows for this guy's further in the back, but see Murray now up to the 4th position, going to get himself by Miller Bonds here.
Now watch this battle here for 3 wide here as Kay McClenny, the 66 machine of Spencer Higg, and Toga Hasada jockeying around for the 7th spot. And Hasada and Higgs make contact. McClenny and Higgs make contact. They're still going to stay 3 wide as they come through the dog leg.
Look at that. Hasada coming on strong here in the late stages of this thing. Working on that bottom line. Oh, a little bit of contact there. A little bit of pinball.
More contact as they come off of turn number 2, but they keep it off of the wall here. And Hasada concedes for the moment. That allows Higgs to now battle it out with Kay McClenny here and try to set his sights on a position gain in the 7th position.
A really good run for Higgs. 35th car in the split, or 34th car in the split, up here running in the top 10. Battling against the 3 of McClenny.
Good
strong run.
Good SR night. And IR rating night for him if he's able to hold on to that 8th position.
Oh, you see he's going to try and dive it down to the bottom of the 3 machine coming into turn 3. Not able to get anything done. They're going to fall back in line.
I got to say, one thing to keep an eye on, as Sean Conklin is trying to get around Danke to put him a lap down, or Nanke to put him a lap down. One thing to keep in mind, Alex Murray, he's a 10th faster than your race leader, Sean Conklin, and 2/10 faster than Houghton and Simon Lindmark. Does he have enough time, though, to challenge for the race lead? He's trying to get around Lindmark for 3rd, but he is running out of time.
I'll tell you what, if you're Nanke, you're sitting here asking yourself right now, why the hell didn't I pit?
That is a question he should have done and answered quickly as they work their way off turn number 2. Lap traffic in front of Lindmark and Murray. They make short work of the 51 machine as quickly as possible as they continue on their way through. As more drivers trying to get around Nanke for him, put him a lap down. Sean Conklin, though, 0.6 of a second ahead of Houghton for the moment, under 10 to go.
Hey, what if I was Nanke? I'd be finding my way to the outside here pretty quick because we've seen how aggressive Houghton can be. See him right now riding behind the 42 machine. They'll come in at turn number 3. Huge shot to the back bumper. Going to try and push him out of the way. We'll keep pushing on him here as they come to the start-finish line, but Nanke's going to hold strong for now.
Got a little bit of room here, but he's got to be careful. He doesn't want to get sent around like what happened early on with Jacob Klein when the leaders were trying to get around lap traffic. Because now with this battle here of Nanke holding up Houghton, this allows Sean Conklin to pull away.
That's a curious case right there. Don't know why you'd want to be holding up a teammate, but hey, I mean, oh, they're not teammates? Never mind.
They are not. They're not teammates. They're a Ryco affiliate in a sense, but they are not teammates here, as now Simon Lindmark will try to go around along with Alex Murray.
Right now, though, this is all falling into the favor of Sean Conklin with a second advantage now over James Houghton.
Here they come down through the tri-oval, heading down. 5 laps to go for your leaders as Alex Murray tries to get a good run around the outside of the 51 Lindmark. Can't quite make it work here at the moment. Got to put the pressure on if he wants to try to go for 3rd. He sits 4th. Miller Bonds now has to get around Nanke, the lap car.
Here's hoping that Lindmark can kind of slip past the pedigree curse that Kyle Busch carried for so many years. Holding on to a decent P3 right now, though, with a mirror full of Alex Murray. Murray's going to try and go to the top side here into turn number 1. Not able to get the power down, though. Lindmark holding pretty strong on the inside. Going to keep the position for the time being as they come down the back straightaway.
Here they come, coming up to 3 laps to go. Murray trying to put the back bumper, moving Lindmark out of the way if he can. He's running out of time. 3 laps to go for Sean Conklin, who is comfortable in that lead with a second advantage over Houghton.
You saw right there, Murray got to the back bumper, tried to push that 51 machine out of the way, but all it really did for Murray was give him a huge aero push and knocked him out of the way instead.
Here they come down into turn 3 and 4. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go for the season here of the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split. And it's going to be an interesting one. Can Sean Conklin pull it out of the bag to make it another great run for the Ryco team as they head down into 1 and 2 once again? He has a 1.2 advantage over Houghton. Lindmark trying to be the gatekeeper for the podium to keep Alex Murray at bay as they head into 3 and 4 to receive the white flag.
Coming out turn 4, white flag is in the air. Next flag ends the race. Sean Conklin in control of it. It'll be official from here.
Here they come in. Go ahead.
No. You got it.
I was going to say, here they come through the field in turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Sean Conklin looking to showcase his dominance here this season. He's put on stellar run after stellar run, whether it be on Monday night or Friday night. You know for a fact a Ryco car is looking to capture the flag. Sean Conklin wins the finale here at Phoneix.
I can't think of a better way to end this 36 race season.
Amazing
Sean Conklin
drive.
Sean Conklin really coming into his own over the summer months. Been toe-to-toe between him and Garrett Maines every week. These two have been on track. And Conklin just digging deep and finding that drive every week.
They find a way as Sean Conklin burns it down here in the desert. A great job, I have to say, to all of the incredible drivers who show up every Friday night from Daytona to now. Hope you get to enjoy a much-needed time off on Friday nights. I mean, pretty sure most of these drivers will still race on Friday night in any of the other series, but still a great drive as he continues in celebration here at Phoneix. Welcome back to the final full field rundown of the Friday Night Top Split presented by Ryco Performance. It is Sean Conklin and James Houghton making it a Ryco 1-2 to wrap up the season. Simon Lindmark will get a podium finish here in third. Alex Murray with Premier in fourth. Miller Bonds, another Ryco, so 3 Ryco drivers in the top 5 with Paul Bergoli, Cade McClenny, Spencer Higgs, Toga Hisada, Johnny Baldridge rounding out your top 10.
In 11th place, we got Louis Becerra, followed by Nolan Hodgson. 13th is going to go to Michael Basson with Jacob Schneider bringing it home 14th. 15th is going to go to Jason Wallet with 16th being Jason Klein. 17th place is going to go to EJ Luna with 18th going to Northern Mata. 19th is going to be Thomas Freeman, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Steve Buchanan.
21st will be Mr. Tanner Love, followed by Elston Fitzgerald in 22nd. Vincent Crowe, 23rd. Justin Nanke will be the first car one lap down in 24th. Brennan Barr is in 25th with Moore Christopher in 26th. Jose Salas Jr. will be finishing in 27th. J.R. Barima, Jeff Shutt, Tommy Gossett, Sean Rogers, Roger Pierce, Nicholas Vroman, and Matt Coker rounding out your 34-car field. With that, we will now get the chance to talk to our podium finishers here tonight, starting off with our race winner. Mr. Sean Conklin joins us up here in the booth. Sean, I got to say, first and foremost, a great season for you guys all the way through, and I have to say, another good Ryco win for you guys here on the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good race. Got out front, led a bunch, and had a little incident between me and James, and we were able to talk it out. Just racing incident, turned in a little too late. It was just, it's hard racing. It's just difficult to race side by side here, like, and try to gain a spot. Like, you want to be as respectful as you can, and you also just want to go as hard as you can trying to get that spot. So unfortunately those things happen, and we're able to go on from it and just keep the lead the rest of the way and go on to win the race.
Well, I mean, I gotta ask, now that the season's wrapping up, what are your off-season plans?
Probably about the same. Just keep running A Open, prepare for Road Pro next year, and prepare for NIS next year. Came into the season a little late this year. Didn't run some weeks, so next year we're gonna try to go full time and see if we can get the championship. But for this year, congratulations to Garrett Maines on his championship, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, with that, that is your race winner, Sean Conklin, taking home the checkered flag here for the final Friday night top split of the year, presented by Ryco Performance. Joining us up next in the booth, he is with Mr. Sheldon, as we are now going to talk to James Houghton.
James, man, it's been like a tale of two seasons for you. The first half, when I got up here in the booth, it seemed like you kind of got caught up in all the bad luck that could possibly be dealt your way. And this second half of the season, man, it has just been a night and day resurgence. So much more pace. You've just been up here fighting tooth and nail week in and week out. And how's it feel to just put a nice bow on the end of a 36 race schedule like you have here?
It's pretty good. A lot of my teammates know that I'm not, I took 2 tires there going into a long run to try to get track position with Sean, and then he roughed me up a little bit there, not on purpose, of course. And but I'm like, well, if we get a caution after a couple laps, and then a caution after a couple laps again, maybe we'll be able to do something. So I'm in it there to support my teammates, but also to try to win races. I'm not really racing for points or anything like that. I like to have fun. So it's been good. We've had like you say, you had a few more things going our way, and it's been fun to get some good finishes.
Man, I will say, for somebody that's just doing it for fun, I just look back at the standings, you're 63rd out of, I think it was about 4,000 entries to NIS this year. That's got to be something to be pretty proud of, man. Just to be in that top 100 bracket when it comes to this series is a pretty damn exclusive club through my experience. I about killed myself trying to get there in 19, so huge congrats for that, man. How you looking for next season?
My real life racing schedule always takes precedence over iRacing, so it can be tough sometimes. I'm sure there's quite a few weeks that I missed this season. 2 years ago, I tried to put a really big push for Road to Pro and stuff like that, and tried to be really serious. And again, it was just, there was a couple of races. I drove to Mid Ohio and qualified the next morning after a round Road to Pro race, which is about a 6-hour tow for us. And I just realized that, you kind of got to choose one. And I'm very lucky to be able to be part of Ryco and get to run these really fast setups every week. But, I've got a lot of supporters with my real life racing program, and I've got to, make sure that I treat them properly. So it'll probably be much of the same next year. I'll race when I can, and I'll try my hardest when I can, but there'll be probably a few weeks missed here and there and stuff like that. But man, it's been quite something. Ryco has always had really, really fast setups, but the past, I don't know, 12 months or so, I just feel like it's been really obscene, and it's a shame. Some of the other guys on some of the other teams seem to get frustrated sometimes, and that is what it is. Some of them can seemingly dish it out but can't take it, and that's a-okay with me.
Man, I say you brought a lot of excitement on the track this year, and it's been a blast covering you. I thank you for that much, and I will lead into, who do you want to thank for this season here?
First of all, Ken Byron, of course, Ryco, all the guys on the team, all the customers that support it. I mean, without the customers, there is no team, there is no Ryco, right? So, of course, the customers just as much as all the guys that are running stints and all the guys that show up to practice, and everything like that. It is such a puzzle, and every piece of the puzzle is what makes it, where we are, just obscene speed every week. So, everyone associated with Ryco, whether it's old customer, new customer, team, ex-team, future team, whatever, it's quite a community. I feel very proud to be a part of it. Even when sometimes my, like I say, my schedules conflict, and Ken allows me to keep this old guy around and keep on the team and try to win a few races here and there.
Well, man, thank you for coming up here and talking with us tonight. Go sit, rest, enjoy the rest of the evening, man.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, with that, as we have to give a big thank you to each and every single member who showed up every Friday night for the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top. So we have to give a big thank you also to Kenneth Bryan, who was able to be an amazing partner with the Ryco Performance Group. And we look forward to seeing what they can accomplish for the rest of their year in 2024. Sheldon, I mean, the only thing we're missing is Mr. Austin Edstrom, who's been the voice with you all season long for the most part, as well as all the other substitutes in this 2024 season.
I also got to say, man, I got to thank Ken Byron personally too, because he has let us get away with some crazy stuff up here in the booth this season, and it is great having a partner that is honestly he's pretty hands off. He lets us do what it is that we think we need to do, and that is a beautiful thing, because a lot of times you end up in these sponsor deals and they kind of just try to puppeteer you and control you. And Ken lets us just speak our mind and speak our narrative completely unbiased, and it's been a blast being a part of this. And God, I'm looking forward to what next year holds. But also, as we look up here at the schedule, and you'll tee us in on this, but it looks like we got a lot more going.
We got one more race for this week, and that is the Major Series, as we'll take the brand new Mercedes Formula One cars to the Circuit Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix, and you can catch that tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on GridVision. But for our amazing producer, Austin Derbyshire, for one of the voices for the Ryco Performance Friday and Monday Night Top Split, Sheldon Atkins, I'm Taylor Burris. Thank you for tuning in to this week's coverage of the Ryco Performance Friday Night Top Split live on GridVision.
Have a great off season, everyone.